The glamour of Hollywood once made them icons of beauty, power, and fame, admired by the world. However, time is an element that even the most famous stars cannot resist. In today's video, we'll look back at some of the biggest names of the past, faces that once captivated millions, but which have changed so much over the years that many find them unrecognizable. Some stories will surprise you, some will touch your emotions. And perhaps you'll even ask yourself, do fame and beauty truly last forever? Watch until the end of the video because the transformations at the end will surely surprise you. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Which star surprised you the most? Nick Nolte was one of Hollywood's most prominent masculine icons in the 70s and 80s. With his angular face, prominent jawline, a distinctive messy blonde hair, and powerful appearance, he quickly became an ideal role model for many American audiences. Before entering the film industry, Nolte worked as a model, and his striking looks helped shape the standards of male beauty in the entertainment industry at that time. It's noteworthy that Nolte's fame didn't just come from the roles he took on, but also from the opportunities he actively turned down. He turned down major roles like Indiana Jones, Superman, and the chance to join the Star Wars universe. Nolte didn't want to be confined to the image of an action hero, but aimed to be recognized as a talented actor. This choice helped him build a career spanning over 4 decades with many roles of great depth. However, time inevitably leaves its mark. The features that once made him so attractive have gradually changed over the years. The pressures of work, periods of carefree living, and the ever-changing pace of life have left their mark on his somewhat weary face. When he reappeared in public after many years, many were surprised to recognize the silver-haired, gaunt-faced man as Nick Nolte, the star who once captivated an entire generation of viewers. On social media, harsh comparisons of his appearance are not uncommon. Even so, Nolte doesn't seem too bothered. He never chased the glamour of Hollywood, and now appearance is no longer something he prioritizes. Nick Nolte chooses a quieter life, away from the spotlight, and accepts the natural changes of time. Although he's no longer the heartthrob of the 80s, he's still remembered as a charismatic actor who proved his worth through talent rather than perfect looks. Throughout the 1990s, Geena Davis was considered an icon of intellectual beauty and the characteristic elegance of Hollywood. Before shining on screen, she began her career as a model, but it was acting that propelled her to the top. In 1989, Davis won an Oscar for her impressive performance in The Accidental Tourist, thus solidifying her position as one of the most notable actresses of the time. She then continued to impress audiences with her portrayal of the gentle mother of the mischievous mouse in Stuart Little, a character familiar to millions worldwide. At that time, her smile always shone on the red carpet, and her appearances on magazine covers were seen as a guarantee of her star power. However, Hollywood never stands still. As the years passed, public scrutiny became increasingly critical. In 2021, when Davis was spotted on the streets of Los Angeles after a long period of absence from the media spotlight, many were surprised. Gone were the glamorous evening gowns and flawless makeup of her prime. She appeared simply dressed in sunglasses and with a calm demeanor. Sensational headlines quickly emerged, questioning whether she was still the star who once captivated Hollywood. However, Geena Davis never truly left the arts. She continued acting, voice acting, and trying her hand at creative projects behind the camera. The actress also shared that age sometimes makes the journey in Hollywood more challenging, but instead of resisting change, she chose to accept and adapt. Now, Davis looks back on her brilliant past with serenity as an icon emerging from the golden age of cinema, still retaining the strong spirit and pride of a true star. The 1990s were Pamela Anderson's heyday. When she appeared in the hit series Baywatch, the whole world seemed captivated. Her image running along the beach in a red swimsuit became an unforgettable icon of popular culture. With her striking blonde hair, bright smile, and alluring figure, Pamela quickly dominated magazine covers, posters, and television screens. At that time, Hollywood considered her the epitome of sensual beauty. However, time always silently slips away, and more than 2 decades since Baywatch ended, Pamela Anderson's image has gradually changed. She is no longer the dazzling lifeguard who captivated millions of viewers. The marks of time are beginning to show on her face and figure, causing the media to constantly compare her glorious past with her present. But unlike many other stars, Pamela doesn't try to hide this change. She chose to age naturally, calmly embracing the ravages of time. Today, Pamela Anderson appears much more down-to-earth and approachable than during her peak. Gone are the familiar glamorous images of Hollywood. She exudes authenticity, confidence, and freedom. Fans may still remember her as the glamorous icon of Baywatch, but the current Pamela possesses a different kind of charm, calm, mature, and full of character. And even though time may have altered her appearance, her place in popular culture remains unwavering. Pamela Anderson is still Pamela, an icon, a strong woman, and a Hollywood legend. In the 1990s, Yasmine Bleeth was considered one of the most captivating faces on television. Appearing in the popular series Baywatch, she quickly won over audiences with her healthy tan, lustrous black hair, and alluring gaze under the California sun. Her striking beauty combined with her confident demeanor made Yasmine a beauty icon of her time, forever associated with the glorious era of 1990s television. However, over time, the actress's life has undergone many changes. Away from the spotlight, Yasmine Bleeth's appearance has gradually changed noticeably. Recent images show her thinner, with a simpler style and sometimes a tired look, making it difficult for many to recognize the star who once captivated audiences. This transformation came as a surprise to many, especially those familiar with her iconic Baywatch lifeguard uniform. However, the Yasmine Bleeth story also reflects a very real reality of Hollywood. On-screen beauty cannot last forever. Behind the glamour and public admiration remains an ordinary person, facing the changes of life. And it is these changes, though no longer as dazzling as before, that bring a more authentic and relatable image. A reminder that behind every icon is a person with a very unique journey. Demi Moore is one of Hollywood's leading stars, a familiar face to global audiences for decades. She left her mark through a series of popular films such as Ghost, Indecent Proposal, and Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle, and also voiced the character Esmeralda in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. With her striking beauty and captivating demeanor, she was once considered one of Hollywood's most prominent sex symbols. In 2015, as a candid photo of Demi went viral on social media, showing her almost without makeup. This image surprised many, revealing the clear signs of aging on the actress's face. Following this, Demi sought out several cosmetic procedures to alter her appearance. When she appeared at an event, her new look sparked mixed reactions, with some commenting that the use of fillers had altered her features. However, Demi Moore has always maintained a clear stance. Everyone has the right to feel beautiful in their own way. Despite the changes in her appearance over the years, her name remains synonymous with charm and a unique mystique. Demi's story also reflects a familiar reality in Hollywood, where stars constantly face a relentless battle between time and the desire to preserve their youth. And Mickey Rourke was once considered one of Hollywood's most prominent sex symbols of the 1980s. With his captivating looks, sharp eyes, and rebellious demeanor, he quickly made his mark through many notable films, solidifying his position among the most sought-after actors of the time. His youthful face and distinctive beauty earned him the nickname Babyface, an image that captivated audiences and cameras alike. However, over time, Rourke's path took a different turn. Unwilling to accept the changes of age, he sought numerous cosmetic procedures in an attempt to retain his youthful appearance. These repeated surgeries significantly altered his face, a far cry from the charming image that had once been associated with his name. This transformation surprised many fans when they saw him in public. And despite his significantly altered appearance, Mickey Rourke remained committed to film. He continued to participate in film projects and maintained his strong, distinctive personality. At nearly 70 years old, he may no longer be a Hollywood beauty icon, but his acting talent and the mark he left behind still ensure that Mickey Rourke's name is remembered as a memorable part of film history. Orlando Brown was a familiar face on Disney Channel in the early 2000s. In the popular series That's So Raven, he played Eddie, the funny friend and constant companion of the main character. With his vibrant energy and natural acting style, Orlando quickly won the hearts of viewers, becoming one of the most beloved child stars at the time. However, after the show ended in 2007, his life took a different turn. Instead of continuing to appear on screen, Orlando Brown was frequently mentioned in the media for personal issues. Incidents involving legal violations and uncontrolled behavior significantly altered his image. Photos circulating online showed a tired appearance, a far cry from the lively boy who once brought laughter to television viewers. Over time, this change has led many to feel regret for a once highly regarded talent. While co-stars like Raven Simonet and Annalisa van der Pol continued to develop their careers, Orlando faced numerous difficulties in his personal life. His story became a thought-provoking example of the downsides of achieving fame too early in Hollywood, where the spotlight can come quickly, but can also fade easily if life lacks stability and balance. Following the devastating death of her brother, Gianni Versace, Donatella Versace not only inherited a renowned fashion empire, but also shouldered immense responsibility. From the late 1990s, she became the face of the brand, distinguished by her signature blonde hair, elegant demeanor, and luxurious Italian-inspired outfits. Every time she appeared at parties or fashion events, Donatella almost immediately attracted attention, becoming an icon of glamour and power in the fashion world. However, behind the dazzling lights lay the intense pressure of a world that prioritizes youth and perfect appearance. Over time, Donatella began seeking cosmetic procedures to maintain her image. These interventions, along with the use of fillers, gradually altered her face noticeably. Photographers easily noticed the difference in each appearance: tighter skin, fuller lips, and cheekbones so sharply defined that they seemed unnatural. Many believe that the frequent use of Botox and other beauty treatments left an indelible mark. Ultimately, following the advice of experts, Donatella was forced to limit her cosmetic interventions. As the effects of the treatments gradually wore off, her natural features returned, sometimes making her face look stiff and different. Nevertheless, Donatella Versace never left the spotlight. She continued to appear on the runways, run Versace, and maintain her position as a powerful icon in the fashion world. Despite the changes in her appearance over the years, her image remains synonymous with boldness, luxury, and a pursuit of perfection, values that have shaped an entire fashion empire. Macaulay Culkin was one of Hollywood's most prominent faces in the 1990s. But at just 10 years old, he became a global phenomenon with his role as Kevin in Home Alone. His blue eyes, mischievous smile, and natural acting quickly won the hearts of audiences. The film became an iconic Christmas movie, and Macaulay was considered a top child star at the time. However, behind the dazzling spotlight lay a turbulent childhood. As fame and fortune arrived, Macaulay's family also fell into intense conflict. His parents separated and became embroiled in a legal dispute over the assets he earned from acting. Amidst these conflicts, Macaulay gradually lost his childhood innocence. Tragedy continued when his older sister passed away, making the life of the young star even more difficult, and he gradually distanced himself from the Hollywood spotlight. For years, the images of Macaulay circulating online caused fans to worry as they saw him looking thin and tired. Many thought the journey of the Home Alone star might end in regret. But after all that, Macaulay Culkin has gradually rediscovered himself. He has recovered his health, stabilized his mental state, and returned to a more positive life. The actor even surprised everyone by appearing on the Gucci runway, proving that after all the challenges, he continues to walk his own path. Jocelyn Wildenstein has long been one of the most intriguing figures in international high society. Born in Switzerland, she entered a life of luxury after marrying art collector and billionaire Axl Wildenstein. During the 1980s and 90s, Jocelyn frequently appeared at glamorous events with an elegant demeanor, considered a prominent lady of the upper class. However, over time her name became associated with a different topic: controversial cosmetic surgeries. Desiring to change her appearance, Jocelyn spent vast sums of money on a series of cosmetic procedures. She aimed to create a wild, big, cat-like face, an image she believed conveyed powerful allure. The result was a dramatic transformation: unusually high cheekbones, elongated eyes, and taut skin. These changes made her the subject of much discussion in the media and on social networks for many years. Today, Jocelyn Wildenstein is often referred to by the nickname Catwoman. However, she doesn't seem too bothered by the opinions surrounding her. She continues to appear at events, confidently in front of the cameras, and affirms her satisfaction with her choices. That Jocelyn's story has become a thought-provoking example about the boundaries between beauty, the pressure to maintain a certain appearance, and how each person defines themselves in the glamorous world of the upper class. Michaela Romanini was once considered one of the most glamorous and prominent women in Italian high society during the 1990s. With her elegant demeanor and distinctly European beauty, she frequently appeared at lavish parties alongside famous figures in fashion and entertainment. At the time, the media even dubbed her the Paris Hilton of Italy, an icon of a glamorous and luxurious lifestyle. However, over time, her desire to maintain a youthful appearance led Michaela to seek various cosmetic procedures. Initially, these were subtle adjustments, but gradually the frequency of interventions increased significantly. Our procedures such as Botox, fillers, and facelifts dramatically altered her appearance, causing the natural features that once made her so attractive to fade. Today, Michaela Romanini still appears at events and in the media, but her image is no longer that of the elegant woman she was once praised for. Her story is often cited as a prime example of how the pursuit of beauty over the long term can lead to unpredictable changes, as the line between self-care and dependence becomes increasingly blurred. Lindsay Lohan was once one of Hollywood's most beloved young stars. At just 12 years old, she gained global attention with her role in The Parent Trap. Her innocent face, signature red hair, and radiant smile quickly made her a promising Disney star. At the time, and many believed she would rise to become one of the leading actresses of her generation. However, early fame also brought considerable pressure. As she entered adulthood, Lindsay became increasingly caught up in parties, complicated relationships, and the constant pursuit of paparazzi. Her name appeared more in tabloids than in new film projects. Issues related to alcohol and drugs led to multiple stints in rehabilitation centers, and she also became embroiled in legal troubles, mostly related to drunk driving. The image of the radiant girl who once represented Disney gradually faded. Instead, Lindsay looked weary, her face bearing the marks of turbulent years. As she entered her 30s, many realized how much she had changed from her peak. Personal difficulties significantly impacted her career, with tardiness, missed filming schedules, and infrequent departures from sets causing producers to lose faith. Hollywood, the place that had propelled her to stardom, had also become increasingly distant. Currently, Lindsay Lohan chooses a more private life, away from the hustle and bustle of the entertainment industry. Her past experiences and the journey of overcoming hardship have left a deep mark on her life. Even so, the name Lindsay Lohan still evokes a special era in Hollywood and serves as a reminder that fame, money, and beauty can all change over time. Axl Rose was one of the most prominent icons of the rock wave that exploded in the 80s and 90s. With his long blonde hair, bandana, and powerful, soaring voice, he became the frontman of Guns N' Roses, a band that rocked stages all over the world. Songs like Sweet Child O' Mine and Welcome to the Jungle quickly became classics of rock, propelling Axl to the ranks of the biggest stars of the era. During his peak, Axl Rose attracted attention not only for his music, but also for his rebellious lifestyle. He appeared on the covers of many prestigious magazines and was considered a captivating role model in the rock world. His explosive stage presence, strong personality, and reckless star image made him an idol for millions of fans. However, over time, that familiar image gradually changed. After years of rarely appearing in public, Axl Rose returned to a music event and surprised many. His appearance was a far cry from his peak, a fuller physique, and noticeable changes to his face. These images quickly spread on social media, sparking mixed reactions and even teasing. However, and for Axl Rose, appearance has never been the most important factor. His true value lies in his distinctive voice and profound contributions to rock history. The impulsiveness of youth may have subsided with age, but when he steps onto the stage, he still carries that familiar energy. Despite his changed appearance, Axl Rose remains a legend of rock, a figure who helped shape the music of an entire generation. Not every Hollywood star can maintain their fame forever. Brendan Fraser was once one of the most beloved faces of the 1990s. With his friendly smile and natural comedic style, he quickly made his mark in entertaining adventure films like George of the Jungle and especially The Mummy. At his peak, Fraser was considered the epitome of a screen hero, strong, charming, and full of energy. However, behind those impressive action scenes came a heavy price. After years of performing his own stunts, Fraser suffered a series of serious injuries. Repeated surgeries and the pressures of the film industry led him to gradually withdraw from the screen. When he reappeared after a long hiatus, audiences noticed a significant change in him, both in appearance and demeanor, compared to his familiar image before. That period also coincided with many personal events, from his divorce to periods of mental hardship. However, Fraser never gave up his passion for acting. He returned with more nuanced roles, gradually reaffirming his abilities. Despite the ups and downs in his career, Brendan Fraser is still remembered by audiences as an emotionally rich actor who persevered through the most challenging times of his life. So Pete Burns was one of the most prominent and controversial figures in 1980s pop music. As the lead singer of Dead or Alive, he quickly gained attention with his hit song, You Spin Me Round, Like a Record. His bold, androgynous style, heavy makeup, and rebellious personality made Pete a distinctive icon in music, breaking down familiar norms of male image on stage. However, behind that striking image lay a complex story concerning himself and his appearance. Pete Burns became increasingly concerned about his appearance and constantly sought cosmetic procedures. Over the years, his face changed noticeably after a series of surgeries. In 2007, he even sued his surgeon for unsatisfactory results from a lip surgery, highlighting the difficult journey between his desire for self-improvement and the unforeseen consequences. Although his musical career was intertwined with the free-spirited and unconventional style characteristic of the 1980s, the constant changes in his appearance also made Pete Burns' life turbulent. When he passed away in 2016, fans remembered not only his unique voice and timeless hits, but also an artist who constantly sought to redefine himself. Pete Burns' story is therefore both a testament to bold creativity and a reminder of the price that can come with pursuing a perfect image. Edward Furlong became a Hollywood phenomenon at a very young age. At just 13 years old, he achieved global fame with his role as John Connor in Terminator 2: Judgment Day. His image as a rebellious teenager with a wild look in his eyes, flowing hair, and a carefree attitude quickly made him a youth idol. In a short time, he appeared frequently on magazine covers, walked the red carpet, and was considered one of Hollywood's most promising young talents. However, this early fame also brought with it many negative consequences. As he entered adulthood, Edward became embroiled in personal scandals and drug-related issues. His once brilliant career was gradually affected by legal troubles and periods of rehabilitation. From a promising young star, he gradually faded from the spotlight and missed many opportunities in the film industry. Over time, Edward Furlong chose a more private life and worked to stabilize himself. His appearance no longer resembles the rebellious teenager who once graced the screen, but his life story continues to prompt reflection. This Edward's journey is a stark reminder of the dark side of early fame in Hollywood, where a single role can propel someone to the top, but can also cause them to spend years trying to rediscover themselves. Stephen Anthony Lawrence was a familiar face to American family television viewers in the early 2000s. With his round face, freckled skin, and naturally humorous acting style, he easily brought laughter whenever he appeared. Stephen participated in many family entertainment projects, most notably Cheaper by the Dozen and Disney Channel programs, thus becoming one of the familiar child stars for the younger generation at that time. However, as he grew older, his career path gradually became quieter. The image of the cheerful boy who once stirred up the screen no longer appeared as frequently as before. New roles became less frequent, and over time, the name Stephen Anthony Lawrence was less mentioned in the entertainment industry. When fans unexpectedly encountered him after many years, many were surprised by the noticeable change. Stephen's appearance was quite different from the lively boy he once was, making it difficult for many viewers to recognize him. Currently, he has chosen a more peaceful and private life, away from media attention. The boy who once brought laughter to millions of viewers has now grown up and embarked on a completely different journey in life. Carrot Top, whose real name is Scott Thompson, has long been considered one of the most unique comedians in America. With his distinctive bright red hair, boundless energy, and creative use of props, he quickly established himself in the entertainment industry. His performances, where he brought a variety of bizarre objects onto the stage to create humorous situations, made Carrot Top a familiar face on television and comedy stages. During his peak, he toured extensively across the United States, appearing in numerous popular shows and attracting a large and loyal audience. His energetic performance style and quick wit gave each act its own unique character. Carrot Top not only made people laugh with his lines, but also captivated audiences with his continuous creativity in developing his performance content. However, over time, his appearance has undergone noticeable changes. Cosmetic procedures and intense physical training have made his face look different from his familiar image before. This surprised many fans and generated mixed opinions on social media. Despite this, Carrot Top continues to perform on stage, bringing laughter to the audience. For him, the most important thing remains his ability to make people happy, regardless of how his appearance has changed. Kelly McGillis was once considered one of Hollywood's quintessential beauty icons of the 1980s. In the hit film Top Gun, alongside Tom Cruise, she played Charlie, a flight instructor who was intelligent, captivating, and exuded strong self-confidence. Her natural beauty and refined demeanor quickly made her an ideal role model for many viewers at the time. However, rapid fame also came with immense pressure. In later years, Kelly shared that living under constant media scrutiny caused her stress and gradually deprived her of her privacy. The prolonged mental pressure and unbalanced lifestyle significantly impacted her health and appearance over time. When she reappeared in public after many years, many were surprised by the changes compared to the radiant image associated with her role in Top Gun. Currently, Kelly McGillis no longer pursues the glamour of Hollywood as she once did. She chose a more peaceful life, away from the red carpet and public attention. Although she no longer appears frequently on screen, Kelly's story still leaves much to ponder about the price of fame and how time can subtly change a star's journey. After all these stories, one simple yet powerful conclusion can be drawn. Time always changes everything. Fame, money, and beauty that once made stars shine brightly will gradually fade, leaving behind challenges, setbacks, and the marks of time, just like any other person. Behind the glamorous Hollywood lights are real people, with their own emotions, pressures, and journeys to rediscover themselves. Some have lost everything, some have risen above adversity, and some have chosen to leave the spotlight to find peace. But although each life has taken a different path, their stories remind us that outward beauty is not something that lasts forever. What remains over time is character, maturity, and how each person faces life's changes. If you find these stories thought-provoking, please share the video, leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to discover more interesting stories about famous people throughout the years.